Yeah, how are you guys? Yeah.
Okay. I'm no longer sunglasses. And I give up.
Okay, sounds good. These two something. All right, welcome everybody to the first meeting of the new year, the first meeting of the month. I believe 83 days until enemy tour 2023. Exactly. We'll go ahead and get started. Start with partner announcements. So, Tristan, is there anything from ATC? Yes, usually.
I think we just have to come here. In the middle. Yeah, in the middle. There you go.
There you go. So we, as you guys may have remembered, we are going to be leaving the space GPS as of the end of the month. I am looking to have our office and our locker at GPS cleared out in the next 2 weeks. I just gotta get you all rented and get down there to do it. Otherwise, right now, Kristen is she did win the majority of yes votes. She is our new member at large.
Hello.
John Hermanstorfer back there wrote in for the remaining open position, and that is going to be getting set up here in the next couple of days. We will be voting on that in a couple of weeks. That is going. These votes, just a reminder, are just a yes/no vote. And that will be the remaining member at large position. We are still reaching out to legal agencies and financial agencies and other professionals to try to fill the treasurer and I don't want to say lawyer, but legal retainer spots that we currently have been trying to fill. On the majority of responses we've been getting back from people are that they'd be interested to talk to us, but they cannot represent us at this time because they are currently full. Otherwise, that is about it for right now. Anybody got any questions? All right.
Thank you, Tristan.
I got one quick thing. Anything still up in the Detour meeting sign-in.com.
Thank you. Developing a practical solution. Yes.
That's not here at Boston. I've set up the forwarding. I've verified it's now working.
Detour meeting sign up.
Sign in. Yep. Takes you straight to the appropriate Google Doc. Modern problems, modern solutions.
Thank you, Matt. One position announcement that was filled, that's not good wording. I don't know if we announced it last meeting. We did?
We did not.
Okay, that's what I didn't think so. So, video gaming head, DJ Johnson had been sort of overseeing that since just post convention. We have officially filled that with prior to last month's meeting. We did not announce it at the last month's meeting, forgive us for that, but he's been going over contracts and working with us on getting things for the 2023 convention. So congratulations to him. Our apologies for not announcing that. We had someone in the position of registration. They needed to step out of the position. So we have since filled that with Jim Matson, who is there. Many of you already know Jim.
James.
Sorry, James.
Stand up.
Yeah. Ron Milan's is the subhead of registration, so they are jumping in and helping us gear up for registration for 2023. So thank you and congratulations to them. Yeah, as far as one of the updates that I have, it looks like they didn't send it to the whole church, but just from social media, just this will be the time where we're going to start gearing up for a lot of that stuff, and we've ironed out a few things. This is just kind of a reminder. If you have a post that you'd like to have something sent to social media, the 3-day turnaround time, they're asking for everybody to keep that in mind and respect that. If you're looking to have something posted, try to keep that in mind. Don't send something to them and then say, I need this posted in the morning. Keep in mind that, again, we're all volunteers, so have your post prepared and build that 3-day window out for yourself so that when you send it to them, they're saying, I need this posted 3 days from now. Yes.
We're also looking at kind of a proofread system for the convention at every level. What that's rolling out with for social media is really just when you submit a post to social media, she will look it over, confirm that everything is correct, ask you questions in case there is a grammatical error or something like that, and then confirm and actually publish the post. It is a representation of the convention. I'm sure you have things proofread before they're sent to us, but because it's still representation of the convention, we are expecting our head of social media to proofread. So just be aware that she might be asking for a confirmation after you send that to her. So
Yeah, Michelle does mention that in here. She said once your post is reviewed by me, if I have edits, I'll send them to you. So yeah, she just wants to make sure that there's clarity, or you might have missed a typo, or maybe that's just me that does that. She does ask to be respectful. I'll mention one point, and then I think I'll jump back to this other point. The executive board, we also do have the ability to post, so that if Michelle isn't available, or within that 3-day window, that we can still allow so that your post, as she's building her team, that the post still isn't just waiting out there, kind of on the vine. But I think what she's asking here, she's saying, don't use that to kind of circumvent around her to have your post done any sooner. Still respect that 3-day window. We're there to back her up in terms of, if there's an overload and help her, if she needs proofreading or she's not available or things like that. So, she's also asking, please keep in mind, not only with that 3-day window, but holidays. Christmas Eve, New Year's, things like that. Please don't put a message on Christmas Day saying I need this posted. Most things we need posted probably aren't an emergency. We probably would like to get them up soon. But I think most times we're able to wait to a little bit more flexible timing. It's asking for be respectful. Yes, to understand that she's new and she's learning as she goes. So please understand and respect that. And so us as the executive team are asking for that from you, not only for her, but for that same thing that we try to do with, that we want to do with all of our staff and department heads is understand and respect each other. I don't say this, I'm just reading it more so to acknowledge all of the other names that Michelle indicates in here. She says, thank you to Troy, the board, Tristan and Buttons for being so helpful and patient. So I want to extend a thank you to the other names in the sentence for helping Michelle during the transition and for the work that they have done on social media. Thank you to Michelle taking it over and helping in that transition. So just some things to keep in mind as we're gearing up for our large social media push in the next couple of months for Detour. So that was, I think, the only update that only I had with social media. So I'll turn it over to the vice chairs for any of the updates that they have from their departments.
you want to go first? You want to go first? Okay, we'll go down the road. Okay, so JC, you just said programming. The panels are closing at the end of the month, correct?
Or 31st.
Is there anything else? We kind of got cut off. Was there any other updates that you had?
Yeah, just saying, main state programming is pretty well defined together. I think the whole schedule is basically penciled in at this point. Couple check marks to make, but it's pretty good.
Awesome. I have from Aria here, hasn't been a lot going on with IT, but they're tracking ongoing issues with the website availability. They're working on creating a new ticket type for guests. Then they're working on experimenting with the Eventany website that you guys have all kind of gotten a taste in the past week or so that they can get a better understanding of it, since that is an IT thing that would be their main area of purview once it's fully set up for 2024. We're seeing more traffic on the website in areas that are expected, which is good because it means people are looking this up and checking out the stuff like Red where we want them to be. With cosplay, the guest contracts have gone out and have been returned. Just, do you want to announce our guests, or do you want to put it on social media? Perfect. Okay, so we do have all of our judges have all returned their contracts and stuff. We're very excited. We got some cool people coming in. Is there any other updates besides that?
We're going to be updating the website. We're working on it right now, so we should have more coherent rules, more specific rules for this coming season, and we're planning to do online sign-up for part of our listings this year. So that will should be up in at the end of February, September.
Awesome. For Reg, we hired drinks. We already announced that, and then on the subhead there, pretty much Reg is going to be staying pretty much the same as years previous. We're going to be working on ways to make it a little bit more efficient coming for 2024. But since it's so late in the game, we're not going to fix something that's not broken. So don't expect a lot of changes there. Just expect good energy and lots of hype, because that's what these guys are good at. Just I haven't looked up any numbers yet. I can get in and do that while you guys are talking if you want, and try to get an update on there. That'd be cool, right? I just want to know. I'm still learning our old database because it's handmade, so I'm not exactly sure how to.
If you want to register right now?
Yes.
Sure,
I
Danny.
want to know what's okay.
5 seconds.
I'm learning that. I Things really new to me and different.
Assuming the back end's working, I can get it and figure it out.
Yes. So for text, I see that's Kristen over there. The tech requests are closed unless you've been talked to by Kristen. If you're a new department head, obviously you can still turn in a tech request. Just get it to him as soon as possible. If you don't know what that means, we'll get you hooked up so you can talk to him about it. We also have Jason in the back corner over there. He's handling the dance stuff for us. This is his first time being officially on staff, but he's helped out with Detour for many years, so he should be a familiar face. He's replacing Tim, who was helping with the dance the last couple of years. And he's also going to be coordinating with Tristan and his team to help make sure that our other music events on Friday go smoothly.
You want to be registered we have?
Yes. Yes.
2,274.
That's awesome.
Wow.
We're doing good. So
This is on par with 2021. It's a little bit behind 2022, which is kind of expected.
yeah.
Kind of on track historically with years when we didn't have a cap going on the wash.
So I think that's everybody. Christina's not here, but I know Guess is moving along smoothly. We already talked, but we're gonna have to set up another time to meet on like Google with Tristan and Jason to talk about the Friday night concert. Because Christina's not here, and I don't really have any other updates from her because she didn't send me any. So since I have like literally somebody from my entire division here, did I miss anything? I think we're good. Yeah, go for it.
Just to be exciting. One of the new things that we have in main stage this year is an all-ages drag show.
That's exciting.
We have moved opening earlier in the day to be at 2. We'll follow up with Idol performing. Metal Show is going to lead off the con again. Doesn't know we can start our conference.
That's awesome.
We'll have a drag show, Japanese band, and then Midnight Mixers.
Awesome.
Very sad.
That's cool.
That is gonna be amazing.
I have goosebumps.
Awesome. Alright, I think that's everything for us.
Okay, so tabletop and video gaming, we've thrown around some ideas about swapping spaces, doing some reconnoitering. At this time, we're kind of acclimating to keeping the same spaces, which was discussed with me and Ton. We are adding a lot to video gaming this year. Ton is working with a potential subhead right now as a tournament organizer and bringing in more tournament organizers. Reaching out to the DDR dance community as well as the classic fighting game community. So we're really looking for like re-engaging with our gaming communities at Detour and expanding the staffing. Right now he's looking at adding roughly with organizers and stuff, potentially up to 10 staff. So we're going to be super excited to have so many more people on the Detour team. As for video, we just submitted, this is very cheesy, but our chairman's choice. So you get to see like I think it's in the retro room, some of our favorite anime. And 3 of us submitted one of the same thing. So I'm sorry we're all boring and too similar.
Only when it's my girl, it's not theirs.
Whatever. Oh my gosh.
Just,
It's fine.
make I-
Wait, okay, so we're all really into girl logons.
Definitely great anime.
Oh geez. Are they then?
Oh, that's my fandom.
Looking at figuring out the invoices for that system. Acceptances are long since done and agreed upon. It's just going to be a matter of creating our social media pushes now to kind of like advertise some of those like big vendors and stuff. And it's going to be about kind of figuring out that stuff with the program guidebook. We just saw some emails about that.
I can't tell you to throw people in your trunk and bring them to the store, but throw people in your trunk and bring them to the store.
Somebody in chat had asked about, and I'm just like following up so everyone like hears it. But someone in chat has asked about the forms for the staff rooms, and I just want to reiterate, we did update some stuff in the forms. We're having some discussion about it as well. But just make sure if you're a department head that you forward that information to your team, so we kind of get our numbers and our counts coordinated, so we can organize like the paid rooms, the non-paid rooms, people who are rooming elsewhere, all that jazz.
Brittany went over it this morning and attempted to eliminate any confusing questions. It's a little bit more clear. So if you want to go back in and relook at it or edit or change anything, you can still do that with your login. We attempted to get rid of any redundant questions and change the wording so it was a little bit clearer. So there's basically most questions have 3 choices. Yes, I need it. No, I don't need it. Or I'm buying my own staff room. So it should be a lot less confusing.
It has a lot more clarity and understanding in terms of like what you're asking of us and what we're asking of you.
Yeah.
We, according to Gundam Fan 777, when we do Indie Game Alley in the video game space, like they have at 2DCon, we are looking at kind of like expanding our gaming offers, and with the tournaments, we are also kind of like rolling out more engagement with classic gaming. I don't know if it's going to be organized the same way. I will extend that question to Tom though.
What was the question? Could we do what?
Could we have like a indie game?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like a specific space of indie games.
Right.
The way our arcade setup is kind of lined up right now, it's not really organized in that way. But I will ask him about like mapping and stuff and see how we're gonna do that and see if there is like a plan for
Right.
indie games next to each other, rhythm games next to each other.
The good people to contact might actually be the people who run the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. I can get you their contact.
Yeah, we can ask some questions.
Since
I think
they have a
any
full area with
resources.
that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's all that I have.
Hey Tristan, do you just want to stop up front real quick, tell everybody in chat about the OSHA training?
Yeah, there's been a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
That'd be
I know,
neat to
but
do. Just waiting.
So the OSHA training this year, I've been waiting to do that till we got everything figured out with GPS. That is all going to be completely online this year, just for convenience sake. Again, that is only for those people that are going to be or need to be in main stage during setup or teardown on Thursday, anytime on Thursday, Friday morning, or after closing ceremonies on Sunday. Nobody else needs to do it.
That's helpful.
Thank you.
I don't really think much from my division. John, do you have anything for us?
That's something you want to training.
I haven't had a chance to yet. But I'm asking if you have anything else here.
Hold on, I have it here.
I'm sure I can pull it up. Right here, updates. Yeah, I got it. Here you go. Want big screen? No. Oh. That's it.
For staff, yeah, I'll get your returning done basic stuff. But otherwise, for the rest of my apartments, not really much going on. I believe the window for room parties is closing soon. So,
What's the due date for
I want to say it's the end of the month.
the 31st?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I mean, if you want to throw a room party, get that in. Otherwise, that's all I've got.
Volunteer the 31st.
Volunteer first.
The volunteer meetings. I'll send out an email after.
There's so much happening on the 31st, you guys. Holy cow.
Oh, John,
What's up?
there is one thing you forgot. Your department name. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you were going to announce it today, John.
But the board one.
No, you were going to. The board doesn't deal with Detour.
I guess we're now once here.
Okay.
No, we're not doing that. So convention communications is officially changed into safety again. That was made because we think that's much more clear for attendees to know what they do. What? That's okay. In theory, we know what you do, even if you don't.
You cover panel rooms too.
Let's still stage.
How would I know that a panel room is a stage?
Look, Tristan, I'm just gonna level up for you. We like John.
Chaos. Oh my god. Okay. It's too much.
You bet.
Have we established that we are doing 18 plus for six?
That hasn't discussed and finalized yet.
It's a really good question.
We do have the next executive meeting on Monday. We can definitely put it on the roster. Get your answers soon.
It would be helpful to know.
Yeah.
So, we'll get you an answer within the next calendar week. How's that sound?
Data is information.
Don't we have a wristband which is up to 17 and under, adult band which is 18 plus?
I don't think we've ever wanted to drop that. But we need to take that job and get into, I think, more detail than I need.
Not necessarily. There are ones that are very tamper resistant. Once they're out for the weekend, they're out for the weekend. Right.
Easier way for another portion of the town to be able to do it, we would advocate for it.
That will like ideally we discuss potentially going that route. We just have to nail down the specifics. I think that's fair.
Something to be aware of is everyone should look at core policies if you have questions, concerns, or someone asks you something and you don't know. Our policies tab under registration, like if you go to register, the FAQ is there, and there is very detailed like information about how we do and mitigate like panel access and convention access and about 18 plus. So we've had a ton of email questions from like registration and stuff just about like how does my 11-year-old pick up their badge? How does my 11-year-old walk around the con? So we should all be like referring to the content on the website when we're thinking about having these conversations with our staffers. So we're all on the same page because this is open public information.
Right. And I think one of the things that we liked about the wristbands was when they're picked up, that ID is checked there versus the need to re-ID somebody at every door they're going into that's 18 plus. So that ID has been verified and that wristband is put on, like Matt said, they're fairly tamper resistant once it's on for the weekend. So nothing is tamper proof, but we have there's that. So
To discuss this. This isn't an open discussion here and now in this moment, because it is a convention changing decision.
sure.
But the counters to that will be cosplayers might have issues with having something
Right.
that. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna like survey some people and ask some questions, but we will get a response to you within the next week here.
One thought. Yeah. About, like, you know how, like, when you have a flex board that has a little shiny holographic stickers on it? Do we have, like, an 18 plus holographic shiny non-duplicatable sticker that you throw on a badge?
I mean, that's a potential, but it's a big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can just give someone my dad.
I'm just gonna tell you, it's really easy to use a basic kind of fact flip this.
I mean, yeah. It's an idea instead of wristband.
Yeah.
Because I know cosplayers don't like wristbands.
Even though they were here before. Play on the next year.
Hmm.
I know, the next year it's not expensive.
Yeah, what?
Wristbands is this secure thing. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
I think that's all.
Yes, we'll get back to you shortly with the song.
Department updates.
Are there any other questions? This is a great time to bring things up to the entirety of the staff. What's up?
I just need to double check with the staff form. Do you want our Detour email or do you want a regular email? Cause I didn't wanna just start throwing my emails out there before.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
If you are putting in staff information and you do not yet have a Detour email, this is the opportunity for us to place you in staff. However, this should be like your registration as a staff member. I would recommend using your Detour.
That's what I was gonna do, but I wanted to double check before I filled it out and then.
You can edit it later. So if you put in one email for your sign-in, you can put another or change it or change it. Yeah.
Basically, you're making your own account, and then the other cool thing about it is, if you have, let's say, another convention you want to attend that uses the same program, you can use that login to attend other events too. So you may want to use your personal email in the sense that, like, you know, you may not want those notifications going to
Everything.
But if you want to use your Detour email, it's your email. If Detour's made it, go for it.
Yes, and this is
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, I know. I just wanna make sure.
In the future, when we do more with it, it is a overall event management software. So depending on if you need access to the software, you may end up needing to put your personal email in because you may have a Detour account specifically for that software. As we roll out new areas, it depends on what IT decides they want to do with it and how we're going to utilize it.
So updates will come.
You'll know it'll be coming. It's not. It likely won't even be 2024, maybe 2025 at the earliest. Like most likely next year, what you'll see it is for staff registration again, and probably regular attendee registration at most, because those are the easiest ways to utilize it.
Well, it's also a database management system, so
It
you can
is.
kind of delegate who is whose staffer, where does this staffer fall in the division. Like, this is a great way for us to kind of like organize our people in a coherent, easily searchable, verifiable.
Yeah, and so it does help us to, like, even though it's not required, if you did staff in different areas, jot it down in the notes. That helps us because then we can say, okay, yep, we know this person is coming from there and we can easily assign it. Otherwise, we'd have to waitlist you and go and verify in the old system, which is fine too. But it helps speed it up a little bit because, especially with like Matt and Troy, if they go through and they're like, okay, yep, I know these people, I know where this is, this matches. Easy peasy.
So for that software, as merchandise, I need access to like t-shirt sizes.
Yes.
Like, is that something you can like give me special privileges on, or do you
Yes.
export it and send them to me?
We will need to get you hooked up with an account. I will have to assign Aria to do that. Let me put that in my notes. You guys are gonna need access to that as well.
Right now though, for t-shirts and stuff, a lot of that's still coming under the old database.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need those numbers, I know I sent them out like
Yes,
yesterday.
I got those. I just know it doesn't have a staff shirt sizes. If that's in a different.
Yep, I will email Aria to have you added to it because you should have access to that and then also your volunteers.
And then just would department heads in general have access to that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not immediately this year, but for next year, yes, because ideally what's going to happen is you guys are gonna be able to pick your own staff.
Can you, but like, will you be sending out, like, this is who all signed up for you, and you can like verify and
Yeah.
that, okay.
Yeah,
And
we'll
when
put
you're
the
gonna be doing it.
PDFs. A little bit closer to time because people are still filling it out and stuff.
Yeah, we still have
Yeah,
a little bit.
I just wanna check to see, did how many people do it yet? Who do I need to
If
bother?
you
And I'm
would
just like,
like, right now,
Yeah.
shoot the church team an email and we can pull the list of your area right now.
Okay.
So that you can see who you have and we can do that for anyone at any time.
Yeah,
So
if you want
curious-
immediate accountability, yes, just
Let us know. We'll send it to you. what's your department again? Merchandise. And then
We do, appreciate the feedback that we're getting and the questions. Obviously the intent wasn't for things to be
More complicated.
confusing or unclear with any of the questions, so, like they mentioned, they're still going through and trying to edit those questions and make some modifications based on that feedback that we're getting.
And the shift question to make it more concise
and added
about how this functions, yeah.
added more markers, yes.
So I just have a question, just, I have a chance to look at the form, but not fill it out yet. The hotel for, you guys are talking about, what days will that cover, if the Carl's covering it versus?
Yep,
Thursday
Thursday
through
through Sunday.
Okay.
Yep.
Sunday night or Sunday nothing else?
It's through, because it doesn't go into Monday,
It doesn't,
so
we
it's,
don't have intermittent, right?
no, because it's Sunday,
No, I think right now it's Thursday,
So you'd be out on
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday night, yeah.
Saturday night, and then
Saturday night.
you'd be out on
Clarifications
Sunday.
are out on.
with the exception of, I think, the logistics team, would have some access on Wednesday and Sunday.
I was gonna wait till
Yep.
after.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask
I think,
our staff. And you do somebody.
I think would be appropriate way, because we could add a question on there if you were thinking you would need Wednesday or Monday access and you wanted to take the room. I'm not sure what would be the most clear way to outline that. Otherwise, if you guys would like to take the conf room and you know you're gonna need a Monday or a Wednesday, if you could email it to your team, that way we can make a note of it. That's helpful.
Basically, the Thursday through Sunday, that's the general policy. We can make exception on a case by case.
Especially with like the managers, I feel like that's something easy to do because we need you to be there. We need to be able to be there so that we can finish what we started. So, yes, you.
When are we gonna let people know that the staff room is something that we want to do? Just for the fact that I know a bunch of people are using the staff room.
If basically, if you know you're going to work more than 20 hours at con, you are eligible for it.
Then what who are the people who would staff room about it?
I'd say,
If you allocated to like a paid for staff room, you can go ahead and cancel it for instance.
but I would wait until
Yeah.
February and for us to confirm that we're going to give them a room before canceling.
That's the thing, like, once we
Yep.
Because we're gonna close the form that has the staff housing information. And then in February, I'm going to give a new link that just has staff information without the housing. So if anybody like doesn't want to fill out the form at all with the housing information, you want to wait because you already have a room, you can wait until February. And then next year, we're gonna do it probably a little bit slightly differently. Like we'll most likely have a staff form and a separate housing form. Or if you're not doing housing, you don't even need to like fill it out.
Yeah, like where it's an
I'm
option.
gonna be honest with you, this is the first year we're doing it, it's gonna be kind of clunky, there's gonna be errors, we don't have it streamlined yet, so bear with us,
Yep.
but we're gonna do the best we can.
And if people want to do it the old way where you just buy your own room, by all means, go for it. We have plenty of rooms set aside, so that's not an issue. It's just for people who have a need, for it, and they know they're gonna already work that much hours. Like we have some people that come from really far away. We want to make that available for them because we appreciate the work that everyone does. So,
Had a question come up a couple of times so far.
yes.
So for people who would like to limit the number of people in their rooms for various reasons, either married couples or people with awkward schedules, is this an all or nothing comp or is there a partial comp available for it?
I think you should just email us if you have a special request, and we can talk
Yeah,
about that.
because there are some case by case scenarios, anxiety, we have a varying degrees of neurodivergence. So in terms of like reasonable accommodations that we can make for any staffer, it's the same thing that we would do for any convoy.
We
So,
had kind of discussed having as little as 2 people, but as many as 4 people in a room.
Yeah.
So if you do have those concerns, I would just say shoot the chair team an email so we can also make note of that
Right.
on because we have a place we can make notes for the thing.
Because
So like, let's say you do have a spouse and they're also staff. If you want to this room, the 2 of you, that isn't an issue. I wouldn't think it would be.
the thing is when we're trying to think about 4 people in a room, like when we ask the question of would you like room with like someone of another from another gender, like when we ask those kind of questions, we're kind of also asking if you're a couple, would you room with another couple kind of thing. So that's just something to like consider when you're filling that out. Like where do you draw the line for your comfortability, for your accommodation, that kind of thing.
And a little bit of it this year will fall under, in addition to, as it would any year of budgetary uh, itemization, but also um, room allocation. This year was obviously a high estimate of rooms we thought we would need. I don't think that we will exceed that, but obviously in future years, we'll have previous years' data to rely on, and then
And also, we would put this form out a lot sooner,
right.
like probably immediately following.
So then people would have more time to
idea
plan. Yeah.
of how many people are really going to want this, how much do we really need, and the room form will close a little bit earlier so that we can make accommodations for that.
The reorganization of how we interacted with our partner hotel and the needing to revamp almost the entirety of that process, which delayed the opening of the public room blocks, also delayed this part of that process just to try and get all the pieces of that correct. I mean, one of the pieces, for instance, is that you were only reserving 12 rooms for vendors, and both the hotel and I thought,
That's crazy, Jen.
yeah, that was low. So, and looking at bits and pieces and then how we were reporting back to them, and just trying to make things efficient. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we took that time to sort of deconstruct almost all the way down to rebuild back up more efficient. But that did take some additional time, so we're in a better spot, but it did delay us by a couple of weeks in opening up to the general public, which, but we did want to make sure that this was the next step in the process for staff perks, the first being that staff band. But like I said, we're aware that when we do these initiatives that most likely the odds of coming out of the gate and then being able to look back and go, well, that went perfectly, there were absolutely no issues. The odds are slim. But we do our best to talk about them and try to research and talk to other cons to find out what problems did you run into so we can try to track that ahead of time so that we don't run into them. Try to talk to all the departments that we think it might affect. Make sure you guys know that this is on our board, and try to get feedback ahead of time. And I mean, we've already, edited and revamped that form a couple of times since we put it out there, and take in your guys' feedback and just keep improving that process. And we feel like that's the best that we can do is that continual improvement process, which we've always kind of pushed. But hopefully you guys understand that that's the spirit of that collaboration with you guys, not just like we don't just push something out there and say, this is it, tough deal with it. And it's really badges for the work that the donation of your guys' time and room so that you guys have a space to relax in and food so you don't overwork.
I'm so excited.
All of those things are for all of us to put on the calendar.
It's being offered in good faith because we appreciate the hard work that everybody puts in.
Right.
So, if we help you guys be set up for success, then we know that the con will be a success.
We obviously want the things, the procedural elements of the initiatives we do. We want them to go smoothly because when they don't, it's frustrating for you guys and more work for us. And that's certainly it's not anything we're like, we hope this goes terribly. We hope we hope this is received horribly.
I feel we've adequately explained our appreciation at this point.
We need a
Yeah.
You need dinner. I'm still confused about it.
I'm just been ignoring it until the last meeting before I caught every year, and then I do what you guys tell me to do.
So,
Are you on record saying you do what you're told? I've never known you to do that. There's something else we have on the agenda for today. This is the longest meeting all year.
Happy to join.
And the vision, what I do. Don't worry. Who's the best one to talk to get up to speed of what I need to do to make the easiest thing happen?
Me. I'm your vice chair. So you gotta talk to me. Don't make sure not all of us, but
I haven't used the red backend so far. Do you know how to use the red backend?
I have access to it and I play with it, but I'm still learning.
I've been using a grip on already, so.
You guys know each other too, so we'll just. It's really easy.
Anything else from everybody? Commercial, like,
We're official for staff, for everyone to know. Okay.
okay, yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Anything else in chat? Anybody?
Yeah, is there anything?
There wasn't.
Okay, well, thank you to everybody for joining us.
Hi, Chair.
Person,
Oh, wait, there is one question. Will there be food trucks at the convention? I'm afraid not. The hotel does not allow for it.
They're so strict about food right now.
They're all little cute food.
Yeah.
Really good too.
so,
And they're going
yeah, so we can do it. Good to hear what Matt said.
There's one more question. Is there going to be a tribute to Jason Davidson of some sort? There's been no word of that on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't read the cast or anything, but if there is, it will be a wonderful surprise. But that's up to programming and all of that. Man.
Yeah.
We really can't, spectate that here.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who joined us online. Thank you everybody here in person. We will be at the Penn Lake Library. Oh, is there some back there? We are planning an event. I don't know. We're basically looking at what the food type offerings will be. So we're trying to reincorporate something, some sort of meat with not some sort of meeting back into that and figure out how to make that work logistically.
The staff there is probably.
Yeah, not to that level, but to make sure that there's some sort of food and socializing and that sort of thing. And to see, yeah, what we can make do with budgets and the hotel as far as whether it's catered within the hotel or outside food, because they are very particular about when we can and can't bring in outside food. So. All right, if there's nothing else, thank you everybody online. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. Thank you.
But yes, going forward now, everyone would sign in and teacher meeting finance.